we're not really embracing technology, we're embracing consumers. Consumers are using the technology. In order for us to be relevant to consumers, in order for us to make the product either more valuable or more accessible or just better, you got to use, you have to keep the consumer in mind, you have to use technology to do that. On the social networking side, pretty interesting trend, not just among what I'll call Gen X, Gen Y generation, but even younger people, to go online to participate in social networking experiences. And I realize social networking is sort of a cliche these days, but it's an experience online that you're you're entertaining yourself with others, is the way we look at it. And we saw a company called Club Penguin that was doing it quite well. It's really an online gaming world, casual gaming world that you can do with others. But you can use your success or lack thereof in games to acquire currency, and with that currency create a better life for yourself. In Club Penguin's case, a better igloo, mostly. If you go to my igloo, and I'm not going to give you the address, but I got some pretty cool stuff in my igloo. I do.
Okay.
I got a widescreen TV and a fireplace, and I even have a basketball hoop in it, which is pretty unique. Never been to an igloo with a basketball hoop. And so what we've been doing, we bought Club Penguin, which has been great, but we're using the creative team and the technology to also enable us to build other online virtual worlds and social networking experiences for other Disney franchises. And we have this coterie of rich franchises at the company now that people want to engage with or as part of. And this is going to allow them to be immersed even more in their franchise world. So soon, you'll be able to go online to Radiator Springs, which is the mythical location of the movie Cars. And your avatar, in that case, will be a car. And you'll participate, you'll compete with other cars. Racing will be a primary one. And you'll score points. And with that, you'll buy a garage. And maybe you'll get a basketball hoop for your garage or a stereo or a widescreen TV. But you'll live in Radiator Springs with other cars. And your engagement with others and with cars will be extended significantly, which is very, very important to us because that's a franchise that has a lot of value, and creating more engagement is great. We've done it with Pirates Online, just launched recently. We're going to do it with a new franchise we're developing called Fairies. We're doing it already with Princesses. And you can see that happening with a number of other Disney properties. And again, it's embracing the consumer and using technology to do so.
So right now, it's a little laboratory of a business for you, right? Did you say recently it was like $1 billion business, which for you is a laboratory?
Yeah, it's not really a laboratory at this point. I'm going to generate $1 billion in digital revenue at the company this year, and that does not include what we sell online in terms of theme park packages. And that's up from about $750 million be the year prior. It's nice growth, offers low base. A company that's about $35 billion in revenue. I guess you could argue that $1 billion in revenue is still pretty low, but that's going to grow a lot, and it's going to grow not just domestically, but globally. We're rolling out versions of Disney.com right now in the UK, and Japan did extremely well, and looking to roll it out in a more sophisticated way, meaning a Disney.com 3.0 in China and in Australia and France and Germany and Italy and you name it. And that's not only going to grow revenue, but it's going to grow the brand and the association with the brand.
What kind of growth do you expect 3 years from now? That $1 billion business will be what?
Much bigger.
Much bigger.
I like getting very
similar
specific.
Growth rates historically?
I like to get specific. We can't predict where technology is going to take us, but I can guarantee it's going to be a very, very important part of our business, and it will create a fair amount of growth for us. Now, some of that will be cannibalistic of current business, but a lot of it will be incremental. We're simply going to reach more people in more ways, and as people spend more time, thanks to technology, engaging with entertainment on a global basis and more money, that's a great thing for us.
And the social media piece of that is rather small, right?
Yeah, I think social media for us will continue to grow, But the business that we'll do online or digital, I shouldn't say online, digitally, is going to come in many different ways. Both revenue-wise, there'll be subscription services, there'll be direct sale, video on demand, micropayments, I'm sure, will exist in some form. Advertising, we've spent a lot of time developing ways that we can enable advertisers to reach people with our product on new platforms. Pretty effective. ESPN's doing a great job of that. ABC.com, another great example of that.
What the Club Penguin acquisition and playing in that world has taught you what about social media and its promise?
Well, first thing it's taught us is that you can't think of social media just as a Gen X or a Gen Y phenomenon. It's not just about the 20-year-old or the 25-year-old or the 18-year-old going on Facebook or MySpace or all the different new social media sites. It's about kids. Kids are using their computers and broadband-enabled computers for entertainment much more than the generations before them. And we've paid heed as a company. We actually believe that the broadband-enabled computer will become a primary source of entertainment for kids in the years ahead. I see it a lot in my home. Now, I don't think my home is necessarily typical. Both my kids have MacBook Pros. I'm getting a commercial for Apple. That wireless and fairly high speed, and that's pretty unique. But the computer is very, very interesting for kids today, and they get adept at it very quickly, and they go online to be entertained, and it's just as important to them as a TV set.